I took the job because it paid well and required little human interaction. I was a night receptionist at the Bramble Pines Inn, a historic but rundown hotel tucked into the edge of the Peak District in Derbyshire. The kind of place that had antique wallpaper, a lobby that smelled faintly of mothballs, and brass keys instead of plastic cards. Quaint, if you were into that sort of thing. Bramble Pines had been operating since the 1800s. It had gone through owners, name changes, even a brief stint as a war hospital during World War II. But Room 23 had always been Room 23. And people never stayed there for long. The first night I noticed something strange was during my second week on the job. An elderly couple checked in around 11 p.m., asking for something on the second floor. I gave them Room 23 because it had just been cleaned. At 2:34 a.m. I heard the bell at the desk ring. Nobody was in the lobby. Then the phone rang. It was the woman from Room 23. Her voice trembled. "Can we move rooms? Something's wrong with the mirror." I moved them to Room 12 without asking further questions. When I went to inspect Room 23, the mirror above the desk was shattered, perfectly webbed out like a spider had crawled through the glass. But there was no broken glass on the floor. None. As if the mirror had split from the inside. When I asked Marcy, the daytime manager, about it, she went quiet. "Just don't assign that room if you can help it," she said. "It's not good for business." I asked what happened there. She muttered something about a guest in the 90s, a journalist who came for a writing retreat and was found dead in the bathtub with no water in his lungs. Coroner said it was a stroke, but he was only 32. She looked like she wanted to say more but didn't. For a few weeks, I left Room 23 empty. Then, one night, the hotel overbooked. A young solo traveler named Kevin needed a room. I warned him 23 was drafty. He laughed. At 3:09 a.m., I found him standing in the hallway, barefoot, pale, staring at the door of Room 23. "I didn't open the window," he said. "I didn't open it." I escorted him back inside. The window was wide open, rain blowing in, curtains soaked. On the desk was a message, finger drawn in the condensation of the mirror. "Stay out." Kevin left before dawn, never came back for his deposit. It became a pattern. Guests in 23 would complain about knocking from inside the walls, cold spots, electrical issues, or, the most common, waking up to see a figure standing at the foot of the bed. One man claimed it was his father, who had died 5 years earlier. A woman said it was a child she'd miscarried decades ago. I didn't want to believe it. But I started keeping a log. Notes, patterns, times. And then came the dream. I was inside Room 23, lying on the bed. The room buzzed with static. I couldn't move. Sleep paralysis, I thought. The mirror pulsed, like it was alive. A dark shape emerged from it, crawling out. No eyes, no face, just limbs and shadow. It climbed onto the bed. I woke up screaming in the back office. My shift log showed I had been asleep for exactly 23 minutes. That's when I dug deeper. I found archived newspapers, microfilm records, the hotel's original blueprints. Room 23 Used to be part of the surgery wing when the hotel served as a wartime infirmary. A field surgeon named Dr. Ezra Ballard performed dozens of amputations there. He was known for working without anesthesia, citing mental discipline as a test of soldiers' willpower. Rumors spread that he took pleasure in the pain. Some believed he was trying to find something divine in the suffering. He died in that room, slit his own throat with a bone saw. I found a photograph of him in an old case file. Grainy, but unmistakable. Same silhouette I saw in my dream. I started seeing him in the mirrors. Reflections where there shouldn't be any. The mirror on the lobby wall once showed me standing behind the desk, until I looked down and realized I wasn't behind the desk. I was in the back room. Something else had taken my place. The final straw came one night when a couple checked in late, insisted they didn't care what room they got. I gave them room 23. At 4:12 a.m., the fire alarm went off. Room 23 was filled with smoke, but nothing had burned. No fire, just ash. The guests were gone. Their clothes, bags, phones, still in the room, but no trace of them. No footage on the security cameras, like they vanished. When the police arrived, they found a message carved into the wooden desk. He collects the forgotten. They shut down the room, boarded it up. Marcy told me the hotel's new owners want to renovate. Turn room 23 into a broom closet or something. But I still hear noises from inside when I pass it during night shift. I've applied for another job. Something far away. Somewhere without mirrors. But last night, I had the dream again. This time, the figure in the mirror didn't crawl out. It smiled. And I heard a voice in my head. You've checked in. You don't get to check out.